Welcome yet again to One-on-One with Chris. We took a break kidogo and we are back. Let's get to know more about our coaches here has to say before we get to finalize things, and also get to hear from Robert before we finalize. But before we finalize, coaches, this was the thing we are talking off air about players having problems. That's why our football in Kenya is really having a struggle. Please shed some more light into this.
Yeah, from my point of view, I know that you actually talked about whether the CS is going to make some changes, and I think for me it's like I don't know the background of this like sport CS, and I assume there's one possibility that he was never playing football. Or he was maybe studying and was never into any sport. And I don't know, but that's my assumption. If that is the case, then I don't know whether he's going to change a lot in sport, because unless he brings the people who have been in sport, who knows how to, what's the pain, the sport pains, people have gone through that. So, for example, I was saying someone like Robert or someone like me, people who have played football, especially think about it like this: people who have played football without shoes, who have played football without right socks, and they've struggled through. Like if you read stories of someone like Mane of Senegal, you see that guy, how he developed like all his footsteps. It was not easy. That's someone who will have some empathy, with will have some empathy with footballers. And for example, if you want to make our national team to be where it's supposed to be, there's high chances that he changes that. Because he has some empathy, he understands. But if you have someone who possibly was not in the same field, in the same situation, they will be having theory. They don't have the pain. They don't have the pain point. They don't know the pain points where people are. You have so many young people, so many young talented people here, who football could bring them very far. And they cannot. One thing that I also realized is that, for example, compare rugby in this country, and then compare football. Compare when there's a rugby game somewhere, look at the kind of cars that goes to watch that.
A lot.
And look at the kind of people who watch football in this country. Like look at TX and all the big cars that will go to watch rugby. Why? Rugby has positioned themselves as a class game. So most of the rugby players, you realize in school they have the quest to perform very well. The same with basketball. So you realize they kind of position themselves. They want to get good grades, and because by then, even in the past, Nairobi University used to have these rugby teams and producing so many. So people used to say, if I want to be good in rugby, I have to have a grade that brings me to a university. The same with basketball. Now look at, and something like golf. Look at where golf is being played. What kind of cars goes there? Look at basketball. Look at then look at rugby. Then come to the villages and look at how people go and watch football. People walking with their bikes and just standing there, and very rowdy people. So that is something that we have to really change. Football doesn't have to be the rowdy thingy. Football doesn't have to be the. I remember when I was in school, we were those guys who were like, no, we are footballers. We don't have to study. We have a game, training. We had a different mentality. So I think there's so much that have to be changed. You have to have the idea, like make football classy.
And let me get back to you. Let me ask Robert, what are the challenges you think a footballer goes through yenye CS angetaka kusikia kwako kwanza do I implement some of the changes?
One of the challenges naweza sema sponsorship. Sponsorship no the main challenge. Hiyo ndo main kabisa.
Kwa nini unaona that's the main?
That's the main cause. Unajua kama timu haina do, hata matches hamta manage kwenda. Hamta manage kuattend matches zingine.
Okay. So hata magia ma socks nini pia hizo
hamtapata.
Okay. So let's assume the CS is watching one-on-one with Chris. What can you tell the CS?
Mimi naweza mwambia ajaribu ku improve kabisa. Like in terms of sponsorship. Sponsorship because hiyo ndo main thing.
Okay. All right. Now what about our stadiums? Iko sawa?
Stadiums pia ziko chini kidogo. Alafu ni chache pia. Ni chache.
Okay.
Naweza sema ajaribu kunacha from the grassroots unajua.
Okay. So what's the future for GDC?
GDC iko na future bright sana because ukicheki vijana wenye wako pale wako talented kabisa. Vijana wako talented. Hizo nini tu ndo nakosa. Hiyo support tu ndo nakosa. But vijana wako talented, wamejitolea.
Alright. So kwa maneno ya kumalizia sasa on your side before we get to coaches, what's your parting shot unto every footballer specific? Wachana na boda this time. Sasa ni footballer. Utaambia nini footballer anatuona that inaweza msaidia that imekusaidia wewe?
Mimi personally football imenisaidia na mambo mob. Kitu ya kwanza imenitoa pale mtaa. Unajua saizi venye society iko. Pale ghetto saizi kuna mambo mingi pale, kuna crime. Kuna school dropout pia. Unaona? Kuna drug abuse. Unaona hizo ni vitu mob zenye football pia inaweza kutoa. Hizo 3 hours ama 4 hours zenye unaenda kwa ground. Unaona ungekuwa pale mtaa maybe ungekuwa umedwell on negativity sana.
Ndio.
So me personally football imenisaidia.
So in short what you're telling our viewer ni acheze football, achane na crime.
Achana na crime. Cheza ball, crime si poa, drugs si poa.
Kupigana ngeta si poa.
Kupigana ngeta si poa.
Okay. So aende kwa uwanja acheze ball.
Aende kwa uwanja I find something positive and fun.
Okay.
It's not necessarily at equal football.
Okay, that's true. So how can our viewer reach you? Watakupataje?
Facebook Robert Mwangi. Instagram Robert Mwangi na Twitter Robert Mwangi.
Okay. Na shout out.
Mimi naweza shout out maboys wangu pale mtaa.
Kama kao.
Mafans wetu hapo GDC pia.
Si ndio?
Na macoach pia.
Okay.
Mimi nawashukuru tu kwa support yenyewe wanatupatia.
Na sijasikia ukitumia
mama pia pale mtaa mama wangu. Niko nafika hapo ndo nilikuwa naelekea. Mama pale mtaani. Nasema thanks sana kwa support yenyewe unanipatia na mtu wangu pia.
Shukrani.
Nashukuru mzee.
Shukrani.
Poa.
Shukrani. Na Valentine unaweza mtumia message. Valentine inakam. Mzee.
Valentine inakam bebe. Valentine inakam. Tutachangamka, tutajaribu goda kituwezesha.
Kujituma. Manze lazima appreciate, si ndio?
Na appreciate sana.
Okay. Si ndio? Thanks sana Roba kwa come through. Mimi nimebambika and I know this is not the last time utakam hapa. Utakam tena. Na so mazuri utatukamia.
Kama mazuri
tuna hope.
Tunaishi kwa imani.
Si ndio? Tunaishi kwa imani. Asante Roba.
Pia nimeshukuru.
Shukran. So coaches, before we get to finalize our session of today, tell us, coaches, what is the next for you yourself in terms of coaching?
I don't know because we started a team with you, and most of them are students who are going back to school. So I think they've gone back. So now I was actually asked by the school whether I can train them, but they told me actually the school doesn't even have a ball.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know like how to start, because if you want, there must be some will, you know.
Kemunye, our school.
Oh yeah, that was the school.
Yeah.
So I asked if they came to me and said, can you train us football? I said, yeah, I can do it. Then I said, what's the status? You know, like, do you have a team? What's the plan? When are you training? Because I know, from my point of view, you don't train for the game. You start training now in the first term as you prepare for second term games. Okay. And they say, no, this time round we still have athletic, and we'll start in for second time. I think for me that was a surprise, because then I asked, like, what do you have balls? And I realized they don't even have balls. So if I want to teach them, if I want to train them, I need to buy my balls and go and
I can
train
see.
them. So I don't know whether I've got the gut and the time to do it, but we are going to work on that.
Please, you have to. This is our former school. Manze Amanyaje Roba. Yeah, this is our former school. We went with Roba. And football was something that inaweza chipua young talents there.
Yeah, they told me the same.
Yeah, they told you the same. So please put some more effort. And we'll appreciate your effort.
Yeah, I know. We'll see, depending on the time, and if I've got some time, because I have a lot of things to do. If I have to mix, kind of juggle between everything, and maybe get some 2 hours a day during the week, then we do it. If not, then I think,
okay,
I can do it somewhere. Or maybe if they were, for example, if they were having a coach, I could be like an assistant coach. But then that means like I only make technical
But they
appearance.
don't have a coach.
So they don't have a coach.
Yeah.
But you see now, from my way of thinking, it's like they need to have like a dedicated trainer, which at the moment, because of what I'm doing, I may not be able to be the dedicated coach like full time for them.
Okay.
It also depends. You see now, this is the students who talk to me. I don't know what the teachers are going to say.
But the students are talking to you.
Yes.
I think the school inaitwa school because wanafunzi.
Yes, we have you see now there are like different categories. So you have ranks. So if you have the need comes from the student, then it has to be presented to the teacher, the management, administration. Then administration say, okay, the students need it, and then they come to me and say, okay, can you do it?
Okay.
You see now, for example, I cannot go today and say the students say it, so I'm training.
Yeah. So when the students were school,
so it's upon them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about your shirt here before we get to close the show.
Okay. So
tunaona Masai hapo na maandishi. Tell us about that.
So basically, I'm project manager. And something I have passion for is to help kids and young learners who have problem with education. So what I do is I help them do with things with reading. I help with speed reading. So that means I check on the child or maybe students' speed. So averagely, primary, they're around 30 words per minute to around 80. Up to university, PhD, they're around 200. If you get someone who likes reading, they're around 240 words per minute.
Okay.
Maybe PhD student, but then that's not enough.
Okay.
So for example, if you can read 300 words per minute, that means you can read a page in a minute. That means in like a 200-page book, you are supposed to read that in 200 minutes, which equates to then around 3 hours. And some minutes. So if I get a 200-page book, I should always determine. I have to be determined to read it within less than 4 hours.
Okay.
Yes. So that is what I do. And also reading is not enough if you cannot retain, because as a memory specialist also, we always say that you forget 80% after 48 hours.
Wow.
So we also teach how to retain all that you learn. And apart from that, something that I also have a lot of passion on is mental mathematics.
Okay.
So I help learners have like this, good relationship with mathematics, numbers, and how numbers relate, so that, and also with speed, because it's not enough to be to get 100% in 2 hours. I wanted to get 100% in mathematics in 30 minutes. So for me, it's like about speed. Let's play and do it within 30 minutes. Okay. And if it's KCPE, do it within 30 minutes and go home and say I got 100%.
Okay.
So I do this mostly, by organizing boot camps during holidays, where I just teach people. And also I go to universities, I go to colleges. Yes, I have like a private, like PhD students who ask me how can I read faster, because if you have an average article for PhD students are 30 pages. So sometimes you find like someone wants to read so many articles and they start, they take ages to read this.
Okay.
30 pages you should read in 30 minutes if you are still slow. But if you are even like around 500 words, you're talking about reading it within like 15 minutes. And the thing is that I've been working with kids, and just by improving some concentration in the environment, they can do in 30 minutes, they've been doing around 15 pages.
Okay.
So if you do 15 pages, that means like 1 hour you can do like 30 pages.
Okay.
So that is for young people. Okay. But we always have like goals and targets, what you have to do. So that's what I do as a passion, and that's what I've been focusing on. But apart from that, I like following projects. I like I'm also doing part-time kind of like consulting on project management, cyber crime and other things.
Okay.
That's one project.
So in your line of work, maybe I can ask you this question.
Yeah.
What can you say about St. Paul's that you haven't known and St. Paul's need your services to our students?
Whoa. Do I
That's
know?
a question.
Yeah, I don't know so much about St. Paul because I was a student here, but I know the student life, so I can relate.
Okay.
So the thing is that I can talk from the aspect of, students, we don't have time, and I would not prefer to take so long to, read things that you're supposed to do within 30 minutes and be done. Like I remember when I was a student, we would be given like 30-page article, like maybe notes to read. I could do that now in 30 minutes and do my things.
Okay.
So if you want to improve your reading, you can consult me, we can work on that.
Yeah.
So that you have more time to do other things.
Okay.
I know of we have student culture of being broke.
Yeah.
You can as well say, I want to work in a restaurant. I can work anywhere else, get some money, but I still don't have to panic that I didn't finish reading.
Okay.
So we kind of, I always say, normally the education system, like what we have as a university is 4 years, and this is made for the slow learners.
Okay.
Like we can push that one to like 2 years. The same with high school. It's 4 years, but I mean, if you read everything by the second year, why should you say take 4 years? That is from my perspective.
Okay.
I would rather do it within, register in Form 2 and do the KCSE.
Okay. Yeah. I hope a student in St. Paul gets to see this show and maybe will require your services.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yes, that would be nice. Let's hope so. I'm ready to, guide students who would like to learn how to read faster, how to retain what they've read, and also play with mathematics. That's the basic of what we learn at university.
Okay. So besides that, what you do, you're a family man.
Yes, I have a family. I have a family of 4.
Yeah.
So I have 3 kids, really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be a father and to be a family dad.
Salamu kwao unawatumia.
I would just say, you guys, how should I sell that?
Yeah, send some shout-outs. Yeah, before we get to finalize.
Okay, so I would say greetings to my family. I think family is enough because they like the privacy and everything.
Okay, I see. I don't want to push it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
So Valentine's is coming.
Yes.
So what can you say to them?
Do you really want to know my honest opinion?
No. Yeah, send some shout out to your Valentine.
I don't know what you mean by my Valentine.
You are a family man. You have a wife.
Yes.
And your wife is watching this show, One-on-One with Chris.
Yes, the thing is that I have Valentine every day.
What then? Okay, I think that's a talk of another day. That's a talk of another day.
Yes, for me, okay, so for example, for me, Valentine is every day. Like, I would not say there's a day of Valentine.
Okay.
So I strive to, always be the best every day. So I would not put it on occasionally. Like, there's a day where I have to do something.
Okay. So
I don't have Christmas because Christmas should be every day. I don't have other things.
Okay. So your parting shot, if a viewer wants to get in touch with you.
Yeah. So if you want to reach out to me, I have a company. It's called Faster Learning Consulting. At Faster Learning Consulting, we teach memory skills, we teach mental mathematics, and we teach speed reading. So speed read, you speed read a book, you retain with memory skills, and then after that, maybe you pass 80% of what you learn, and then come over for mathematics. So if you go to our website, it's fasterlearningconsulting.co.ke, and we have Faster Learning Consulting. We are on TikTok, we are on Facebook, and LinkedIn. We have. We have Instagram also.
Okay.
So we just do that.
Okay.
So reach out and subscribe. We also have like a YouTube channel, so you can always look at what we do there.
Yeah. What's the name again?
Faster Learning Consulting.
Okay. Okay.
So faster, like very fast, because we just want to learn very fast.
Okay.
We don't want.
I was asking.
I don't want delays. I'm a lazy student.
And before we get to close, you didn't tell us why the massage. Why the Maasai?
Yeah. So Maasai for me it's not the Maasai, because also there are so many cultures in Africa that used to have the shield and walk with a stick.
Okay.
So for me, after staying abroad, I used to think that we don't have the identity.
Okay.
You see, I want to promote my identity. I want to promote African hair. I don't want to look like someone who has fake hair. I don't want to make my hair like.
You want to retain that authenticity.
So many things about the Africa, about my culture, about where I come from, about Kenya. This for me was a very big thing. Yes.
So thank you so much, Leo, for coming.
You're welcome.
I really enjoy your presence.
Me too.
Even you, Roba, I enjoy your presence, and I know tutaongea mengi huko mtaani.
Sawa.
But I know this is not the last time having you guys here. You'll get to come again. And to just kidogo tu imenikuja tu sahi. Before we get to finish, what can you tell us about Arsenal?
About Arsenal?
Arsenal is coming. Wanacheza na Brentford.
Yes.
This coming day. And what's your prediction? And what do you think about it? Akisema kitu positive about Arsenal.
So I mean, I will be real to myself. Like for me, I'm a coach. So imagine, for example, why do you have someone like Guardiola, like a coach, that he can train Man City, and if you call him tomorrow, he can also train Arsenal. He can train any team. That means he's not a fan. So I'm not a fan. When I look at football, any team, I look at the technicality, I look at the skill, I look at the field, I look at the patterns. So and I'm someone who looks at things on like a reasonable like.
Okay.
So when I can never say that. I can never say I will predict the game.
Oh, come on.
I have to
when he coaches,
yes,
you are a coach for Pete's sake.
I will come
just tell us Arsenal will win or Brentford.
Come on, you want me to like be a fan?
Tuambie.
I don't know.
Because Arsenal right now
one thing is like, for a minute. One thing is like, I don't know the pattern Arteta is going to play. I don't know what those guys are going to bring on board. What I have to do is I have to check on the game, and maybe after 25 minutes, I see, okay, who is likely to win? And that is something that even you see on the screen, like there's likelihood of some team winning just by the ball possession, how many people are how many ball are we losing? You see, that for me is what I will use to determine who rules the field and who wins.
Okay, so
and not from my emotion. Like,
okay.
oh yeah, I think I'm an Arsenal fan. Arsenal has to win. Or Manchester fan. Arsenal
okay, but
sorry for disappointing you. Because for me, that's the technical part.
Okay, but Robert, what do you think? Arsenal, Brentford.
Arsenal.
Yeah. Team Arsenal. Arsenal to go in a very, very good position to take the league of leave alone with the coaches here. So thank you for watching One-on-One with Chris. Up to next time, as I usually end it, maybe your parting shot, maybe
No, thank you so much for watching. Keep watching and promote Chris here by subscribing their channel and share. Okay, thank you so much and see you next. And if you want any information from me, just reach out. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. 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 Yeah.